shortly. My name is Rachel Billington. I'm the Chief Press Officer with INTERPOL. What we will do is take questions from the floor. We'll ask you to raise your hand. We'll give you the microphone. Please speak into the microphone. Please state your name, who you work for, your question, and to whom it is directed. Please note that we have limited time, so we'll take one question at a time and see if we have a chance for follow-ups later. So, do we have any questions? The lady in front.
Hi, this is this switched on?
It's a dead microphone.
Yeah. Technology.
Hi, this is Stephanie Scowen from Al Jazeera. I'll try not to Stephanie. A question for Mr. Noble from Interpol. You mentioned in your speech that you were tracking someone on a flight from Singapore to Italy. Is that Mr. Tandon? I didn't quite catch the name. That was my first question. Sorry.
I didn't give the name intentionally.
Okay.
I'm not authorized to give the name, and we'll know about it when the plane lands if the arrest is made.
And that's going to happen in a few hours from now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, my question is, you're talking about cooperation between the different organisations involved in tracking match fixing, and the problem of keeping organised crime at bay. How long is this going to take? You're talking about you're already 2 to 4 years behind the best match fixers. This is going to be this is not going to be solved overnight, as you might hope.
The problem of match fixing has been around since the beginning of time.
The problem of match fixing has been around since the beginning of sports, and it's a problem that I believe will always be around. But it's a problem we need to do a better job of controlling. And with the cooperation of sports associations, athletes, coaches, teams, etc., exposing attempted match fixing. Once that becomes common and people are celebrated for having done it, athletes become famous for having disclosed an attempted match fix. We'll do a better job at it. In the meantime, we still have to investigate and prosecute. So you make a match fixer concerned, maybe he or she's going to be the one that will be arrested, and will be required to serve a significant jail sentence. But you're right, and as I made clear in my remarks, we need to do a better job of sharing information on a real-time basis. Thank you.
Okay, next is the question, gentleman at the end there. Please speak into the microphone again, your name, who you work for, and who your question is directed to.
Hi, my question is again to Mr. Noble. The thing is, my name is Zaihan, I'm from the New Paper in Singapore. Can you explain to us the nature or the circumstances leading to Dantan boarding a plane going to Italy? I think that's the last thing he would do. Is this something that he's already been escorted by?
Just clarify. I did not give the name of the person who boarded the plane. I said that he's been charged with being a member of Dan Sin Aung's criminal organization.
Okay, so this person, we still do not know who he is. Was he escorted by police, or he's being observed as in just like basically at that level? You mentioned he's being monitored, but
What I said is that Singaporean police learned that he was planning to take a flight from Singapore to Italy. Upon learning of this, they alerted Italian police via Interpol Rome and Interpol General Secretary Headquarters Command and Coordination Center. Then, while monitoring the person's activity, they witnessed the person boarding the plane doors closing, the plane taking off. The plane's flight is currently being tracked by anyone tracks flights. And upon the plane's arrival, the door opening, and the passengers exiting, Italian police and prosecutors will make a determination whether to arrest the person or interview the person.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have another question? Any questions about the conference that's been taking part for 2 days and the outcomes of that? You have a unique opportunity here with the Secretary General of Interpol and FIFA in front of you, so take advantage.
Sorry, I'm Eileen from the Associated Press. I just want to clarify again, you said the man has been charged of being a member of Tan Sin Ing's criminal organization. Sorry, can you elaborate a little bit on where he was charged and what has he been charged for? Is he wanted on an Interpol list as well?
I can't tell you whether he's wanted on an Interpol list.
Or in any other country?
I can tell you he's wanted for arrest by Italian authorities for his alleged involvement in match fixing under the organization based in Singapore, controlled by Tan Sri Lanka. Those are the charges brought against him. The allegation that there's a criminal organization, transnational in nature, focusing on match fixing around the world, and headed by Tan Sri Lanka.
Okay. Question here.
I am from Nippon Television, and I want to ask about Thai case. There was a news that there is a match fixing at Thai FA Cup last year, I think. Did you discuss that in the conference?
I was in Thailand for the INTERPOL heads of police meeting, and I did not discuss any Thai match fixing cases. I met with Singapore's police commissioner to discuss the deployment of investigators from the Singaporean police force to Interpol headquarters in order to follow the leads and evidence of the Operation V2. The specific case that you're speaking about, I have no information about.
Gentleman over there.
Philip Go from the Today paper in Singapore. Question for Mr. Noble, please. This alleged associate of Tan Sin Ang, which is being monitored right now en route to Italy, do we know his nationality? Is he a Singaporean? And does that mean we know a number of people that are being monitored in Singapore or in Italy right now associated with Tan Sin Ang's organization?
So Singapore has received a lot of criticism in the media as of late, especially following the press conference concerning Operation V2. The criticism has been based on the view that Singaporean police authorities, judicial authorities, prosecutors weren't doing enough to investigate or fight match fixing. I think the case that I told you about, the case that is unfolding right now, makes it clear that Singaporeans, like European Union investigators and prosecutors and judges, are required to follow their law. And until they have evidence of crimes being committed that they can investigate and prosecute, all they can do is monitor and make sure that the activity of the person in Singapore, the persons in Singapore, are not affecting the danger and well-being of Singaporeans and guests to Singapore. Interpol, we have a variety of ways of communicating to police and to the world whether someone is wanted for arrest. We have what's called our red notice, which is a notification to police around the world that someone is wanted for arrest, that there is an arrest warrant that's been issued by a judicial body supporting it, and that if the police take action to apprehend the person, the country seeking the person's arrest will also seek his or her extradition. That red notice can be public, and you can find it on the internet, or it can be private, not on the internet. I'm only allowed to speak about red notices that are public. I'm not allowed to speak about red notices that are private. I can't say whether red notice exists or doesn't exist. Okay? So your question about whether there's a red notice for this person, I can't comment on.
Take the question down here, please.
Jonah Fisher from the BBC. Just to clarify, because I think there's a bit of confusion here. I did hear you say Tan Tan, or his Chinese full name, in your speech, did you say an associate of him, or how
Yes, so I want to clarify. This will be the third time I'll clarify. There's a criminal organization, according to judicial authorities, that Tan Sik Ang heads. According to these documents, these legal documents, that transnational criminal organization is based in Singapore and headed by him. According to arrest warrants, there are individuals associated with him who are sought for arrest by a variety of countries. One of these individuals is on a plane now, headed to Italy, sought for arrest by Italian authorities for his involvement in match fixing connected to the Tan Sik Ang criminal organization.
So it's not the man himself, you can say that to him.
Pardon me?
It's not the man himself, you can say that to him.
I can't say the name of the person, who he is or who he's not.
You can't say who he's not.
I can't. I can't say who he is, I can't say who he's not. Correct.
It's not him.
We can wait a few hours and then we'll know the person's identity.
Why?
Do you have any more questions before we wrap up? The gentleman in the jacket in the front row, please. Oh, okay. The blue shirt and then the brown jacket.
Well, let me clarify something here. Make it easy. I can say the person on the plane is not a Singaporean national. Okay?
I'm Mr. Noble, I'm Shannon from the FB. Number one, can you tell me which nationality this man is? And how crucial is his arrest or detention to taking down Tan Sik Ang?
I can't tell you what nationality he is, but I can tell you arresting anyone connected to Tan Sik Ang's organization is important. It's important because the world believes that law enforcement can't do anything to take down this criminal organization. The world believes that he and his associates can't be touched. They're above the law. And so for that reason, any person connected with his organization and him himself, until they're arrested, and until we show the world that they are not above the law, the world and public opinion will lose confidence in the ability of law enforcement to investigate and bring to justice people engaged in the serious crime of transnational organized crime, and in particular match fixing.
My name is Safwan Bishawar from Al Jazeera Sport Channel. My question from Mr. Muchkir from the FIFA. Do you have any reports that needs to open an investigation in certain matches belong to FIFA or UEFA, I mean the leagues of the tournaments, international tournaments? Do you intend to open any investigation in the match fixing in the near future?
If I understand you correctly, you're asking me if I intend to open cases on behalf of FIFA. Well, if we have the information needed to launch disciplinary action, FIFA will certainly open cases related to match fixing. The situation is currently quite difficult. We are, for example, not part of the law enforcement, so we are outside of the information sharing within the law enforcement family. And so we are looking by ourselves to gather information. We are doing this through source information, we are doing this through hotlines, and we are doing this through monitoring of matches. Then when we have sufficient leads to launch investigation, we are launching investigation, yes.
I think we have time for one more question and then we'll wrap things up. I'll take one for someone who hasn't asked a question yet, the gentleman in the back there.
Hi, Raj from AP Television. Just wondering, what would be the next step if this man gets arrested within the league? From Interpol.
If he's arrested in Italy, we will follow the rule of law of Italy, make a determination about whether or not he admits the charges or fights the charges. And if he admits the charges, the hope is that, or even after, if he's convicted, the hope is that he would cooperate with law enforcement, tell us all that he knows about his alleged criminal conduct or actual criminal conduct.
Is that, in other words, you building a stronger case against Dan Tan?
Anyone who's involved in match fixing that we have information against, we want to help our member countries bring strong cases against those persons. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks very much, everybody. We'll be issuing a press release shortly, and should also be published on our website, interpol.int, and we'll update you on any developments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.